Hey, moviegoers, how are you? It's a very big weekend this weekend, and we here at KDM have a very special episode tailored just for you and for this weekend. Please say hello to the K part of KDM, Kid Bowen, my friend and colleague. Hi!
Hello, hello. My hand
And
goes
you
away in the thingy.
and, and you folks missed her little happy dance before she hit the record button, but it was quite humorous for me. It's a great way to start off. It's always a great way to start off a podcast when you're able to laugh and smile. So, and then the D, Dimitri. I am the D part of the KDM, and of course, we talk what is the M part of KDM, movies, and it's a big
Movies.
week. It's a
It
big
is a
week
big week.
for movies, not necessarily in what's come out in cinemas this weekend, but
No,
what
it's
is
been a
taking
little slow
place.
on that end, by the way. But
Yeah, a little,
yeah,
but there no lack of good cinema product out there.
yeah.
But we are talking about Sunday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
No,
Yeah,
actually, no. Wait a minute.
what do you
Does it
mean?
start at 4? It starts at 5.
Four.
Are you
4
sure?
p.m. Pacific. Yup. 4 p.m. Pacific.
Oh, you're right. Oh shit.
4 p.m.
Sorry.
Pacific.
Oh
This isn't a
man.
family show.
Why is it so early? Oh shoot.
Well, it's not. It's seven
Well, I
o'clock
have a
East
thing
Coast time.
I'm gonna miss first half of it. That sucks.
Oh,
Okay.
I mean, they try to do it so that it ends at somewhat of a reasonable hour on the East Coast. Personally, that's one of the advantages living on the West Coast is that by the time the show is well and done, you could still do something after.
Yeah.
Where I remember at home, yeah, you're pretty much shit. It's way past my bedtime. I have to be up for work tomorrow. Um, so yes, it is live on Sunday, the Academy Awards or Oscars on ABC and streaming for the first time on Hulu, which kind of
Yeah.
makes sense since
Sure.
um they're owned by ABC, Disney. So, yes, we're talking Academy Awards. Kid, I want to ask you before we go in, we're going to talk a couple of the what are they? A couple of the categories. We're going to
The
do
top ones.
like the
Yeah.
top ones.
Hmm.
But before we get into that, what do the Academy Awards mean to you? Like when did you start
Oh,
watching? What do they mean to you?
oh, well, that's that's a question. I have been an Oscars watcher for as long as I can remember. It's something that my mom really loved to do as well, so we would always watch it together. But I guess in high school is when it, really started in earnest.
Hmm.
And then all through college. I mean, for the rest of the time. And then, of course, I worked for many entertainment outlets through my career, so it was always a big thing. I had to get up really early in the morning when the Oscar nominations came out, so you had to write your stories and you had to get all the stuff done. So for many, 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 many years, I had to cover it. Um, and I've been 3 times to the Oscars. So
Look at you.
one time was in college with a friend who worked at the Academy Library, so they got free passes or free tickets to the show. So, and that was
Nice.
this is dating myself a little bit, but that was the year Out of Africa one.
Okay. Yeah.
So it was
Uh-huh.
like 1980, whatever it was, 4 or 5. So then I didn't go for a long time. Actually, no, that's not true. Then I went again with a friend who had like a last minute thing. Hey, you want to come to the Oscars with me? I have this pass and my friend can't come, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. So it was sort of a last minute thing. That was the year Dances with Wolves one.
Uh-huh.
And then I've covered it a couple of times with some outlets. So one time I covered the red carpet, like the bleachers area,
Okay,
sort
yeah.
of capturing moments on the red carpet. And then I actually one time did the whole press room thing where it was freezing cold. I do remember
Oh.
that. The food sucked. And yeah, it was a bit of a challenge to do it from the
Uh-huh.
press room. But as opposed to the Emmys, which I also covered one time in the press room, food was fantastic.
Huh?
They brought it to you. like they brought it to you, and it was in that tent, outside of the wherever it's
I
usually.
don't know, but
Oh, anyway,
I
there's a big
believe you.
tent they put out. But yeah, so it has been very special in my life for a very, very long time. Now, of course, now I'm at the age where I don't have to cover it for anything or do any of that. And I'm,
You're
you know, I
covering it for this. You're covering
well,
it
I'm
for
at
KDM. What the
I'm at
hell?
I'm
Jesus.
at getting up early in the morning on
I
us
know.
on nominations day and having to,
Right.
have to pre-prepare it so that I can just hit publish, right?
Right.
It was, and I would always do predictions and that kind of stuff. So I've been doing
Right.
it for a very long time, long,
That's
long time.
awesome. That's awesome. That's much more fascinating and interesting, I think, than what I have to say. I should probably just leave it with you. I mean, for me, I did around the same time you started getting into it. For me, it was around high school time. But times were very different then, too.
Mm,
I think that the Academy Awards, the Oscars, actually meant something for a larger group of people, a larger
yeah,
crowd, a larger audience. At the
yeah.
time, and
It
I
has
don't
changed a lot over
sound
the
like a
years for sure.
right. I don't want to sound like a curmudgeon, but uh, no, first and foremost, I think I could say, if you don't mind me speaking for you for just this 1 second, we love movies,
Mm,
right? We're
yes.
movie fans since we were kids. You and I had this discussion about Disney and such since we were kids. Loved the movies. And to realize that there was a night that actually celebrated the movies, that like literally celebrated the movies, and there was no other way to see the movies other than taking the effort and going to the theater, and that was part of that excitement, part of what Hollywood was about.
Yeah.
So as in high school, and then as you're like correct, going into college, you watch them, and I was fortunate enough, not too long for me after college, where I got a job for Universal Pictures, and I was working out of a distribution office in Boston, Massachusetts, and I was part of, movies that won Son of a Woman. Uh,
Yeah.
Jurassic Park was nominated. I love Son of a hey. Son of a Woman, Al Pacino, Jurassic Park, Schindler's List, of course. Um, and again, it was still at a time where, movies mattered more.
Hmm.
Everybody went, the country went, the world went. And it was something that we all shared because we were all going into the theater, with these strangers and having this collective, wonderful, magnificent experience. And, movies mattered more. People would talk about it. You had great hosts. Bill, I can't forget the Billy Crystal years
Yeah, those were the good years. Yeah,
and
for
him,
sure.
and those were also the fun years when you had people like Jack Palance winning, and he comes out and does push-ups, and there was an entertainment value to watching the Oscars, and you would always expect them to go on longer. They also used to be, if I'm correct, during the week. They were usually on a Monday,
Yeah.
not on a Sunday. But
Yeah, they were Monday mornings. Yeah, I mean Monday. Yeah, because I remember when I worked at a company called Telefilm Canada. It's actually a government
uh-huh.
agency, and we had an office in Beverly Hills. So we would, look for uh, Canadian nominees and stuff. But anyway, I just remember Monday we'd always have a half day so we could get home to.
Right, right. So and yours is a little bit different than mine because I never went to the Oscars. I didn't leave Boston until 1996 to go out west. But I would always watch them. Like being part of Universal meant something to me, and watching the Oscars meant something to me. And I was never one. You were in a position where you would prognosticate, right?
Hmm.
So that's a
Hmm.
different. I was in a position where I wanted to be entertained, and I knew all of the movies. At the time, there were only five best pictures,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So um, I always went into them going, I knew what my favorite film of the year would be, and I had always hoped that my favorite film would win. It usually didn't turn out that way. Um, which is fine, but there was always great water cooler talk the day after the Academy
Oh yeah,
Awards, right? And there was never the negative bashing. I think a lot of it came after, say, Billy Crystal left. At least this is how I
yeah,
remember it. This is how I like. I don't remember negative bashing like with Bob Hope, or Johnny Carson, or any of these other people. After Billy Crystal left, and you were trying to find hosts like that
yeah.
Rob Lowe year,
Oh, well, we know. Or
right?
the Anne Hathaway, James Franco. That's
Oh
probably more notoriously. Yeah, all of it was
boy,
bad.
howdy, you're right.
Those were both
So,
bad. Yeah,
and
that's true.
then things changed. A lot changed, and I don't mean by ways of VHS, DVD, Blu-ray. I mean in the ways of streaming now, social media platform. The other part of the Oscars was always the glitz and glamour, right? But
Yeah,
now that glitz and glamour you could see almost every day when you turn on a TV.
yeah,
Whether it's the Beverly Housewives, I'm talking reality TV and stuff. Um, Movies, what movies mean to a nation or to the world, is completely different. And movies um, they don't resonate, I have to say. And
yeah.
again, I know I'm sound like an old curmudgeon. They don't resonate the way that they used to resonate with people when
Well,
we
I mean,
had to
I think
go.
it's just the change. It's just you've had this lament for many years now because
Mm,
the cinema experience has always been part of who you are and what you enjoy,
always.
and that has changed because of
Hmm.
all of the content
What
and
I
things
said.
that we can now ingest. So, I mean, I think some movies still mean a lot even to this day. And I don't ever think that the movie going experience will ever go away completely.
I don't
Um,
believe that either.
I think people still love to go to the movies. They still love to sit in the theater and experience it that way. And there have been many movies since the advent of streaming that have really been amazing. Like I would say just in case in point, Oppenheimer last year, people saw
Hmm.
that in the theater, and
Yep.
and it won Best Picture. So I mean,
100%. Yeah,
but you're
no,
right. I mean,
100%.
that the thrill of the Oscars themselves has changed a lot, and it's kind of sad, but at the same time, it is what's happening now. So you just have to kind of go with it. And I still enjoy it. I still try to prognosticate as best I can. Um, I've gotten a little rusty in my old age. I think I don't. I'm always
I don't,
I'm
I don't
always
think.
I'm always in this pool, and I've never won it, not once. And there's always these people. There's 1,000 people in this thing, and I have not won it one time. I've gotten close, but I've never won it. So, but among my friends, I'm always the one who gets them all right. Like my mother and I always, even to this day, we'll just do a little ballot between the two of us. So we do
That's
like a little
yeah.
contest between the two of us.
That's
So
awesome. That's
yeah,
awesome. See, I didn't grow up in a movie family. I was the moviegoer. But in any case, so yeah, you're right. Oscar has changed. And thank you. Yeah, you bring up a great point. Oppenheimer, when Oppenheimer was, that was lightning in a bottle because it was like the Barbie year as well.
yeah,
So they fed off each other as far as marketing and the publicity, and
hmm,
which just had a momentum unlike anything I've seen in a very long time.
yep,
And Oppenheimer, you and I would agree, a movie we saw together in beautiful 70 millimeter IMAX was so freaking great.
yep,
Yeah, yeah, that is something that I can attest that the Academy actually got right from a creative art standpoint. So, I still maintain and I still watch the Oscars every year. We always, we could talk about the snubs, the hits, the misses. On this show, we could talk about what we believe or what you're going to believe is going to win. I want to try to stay away from, if it's okay with you, the what should, like what I think will win and what should win. I've been reading a lot about that today, and the word should brings about, at least for me, it denotes a hubris that person, that should be right above everybody and everybody else. I like to go, this is what I'd like to win because it's just my personal kind of feeling, like what my one of my favorite movies is, and I mean, I'd like this movie to win, but I have a feeling like this is going to be the movie. I have we have wish lists. I had wish
Right.
lists going all the way back to say E.T. and or
Yeah,
even
but
Jaws. And
I mean, it's not should win. It is what we'd like to win. Like who
yeah,
you'd vote.
well,
The way I've done it in past podcasts is if you were an Academy voter, what would you vote?
what would you vote for? I like
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
That's why
that's
we do
kind of the
this
way
together.
we. Yeah, that's
All
what
right,
how
so
it's sort of phrased.
why don't
So
we,
let's start off with the best
yeah.
supporting actress. Okay,
Okay, so you do
so
that,
the
and we'll
nominees
switch off.
are.
Go ahead.
We'll get to the nominees here. Sorry. Two. We've got Monica Barbaro from A Complete Unknown, Ariana
Right,
Grande from Wicked, Felicity
right,
Jones from The Brutalist,
right.
Isabella Rossellini from Conclave, and Zoe Saldana from Amelia Perez. Now,
Uh-huh.
interestingly enough, I'm going to give you the. I'll be the one that gives you all the information, the back behind the blah blah blah. At
Oh
this
yeah,
point,
yeah, because she's
at
great.
this
She's great at
point,
this.
Zoe Saldana has won every award. So she's won
Right.
the BAFTA, she's won the SAG, she's won the Golden Globes, she's won the Critics' Choice. So there's all the momentum under the sun is going behind her. So I think she will win. That's my prediction for that category. However, I've recently heard that some momentum has been gathering for Isabella Rossellini for Conclave, which was here's the thing. Also, supporting categories are also very strange sometimes. Just like
Mm-hmm.
with comedy TV series as well. It's like,
Hmm.
if they're a half hour, they're considered comedy, but I would not consider The Bear a comedy, right?
Right.
And that's what it
Right.
always wins in. So, supporting actor can be very weird because I
Right.
would say Zoe Saldana was pretty much the star of Amelia Perez. I mean, she's in almost every scene, even though she's not the
Right.
title character. She definitely, is very prominent in the movie, as well as supporting actor category when I get to that. But the fact that she's been she's been around for a long time and she's done, popcorn stuff and she's done a lot of TV, and I guess you wouldn't necessarily think of her as being one of the actresses who would get nominated like a Meryl Streep. Of course not. But she put in a wonderful performance, I thought. The singing and the dancing and all of that. They love that stuff. The Academy loves it when someone like a Zoe Saldana decides to sing and dance. So anyway, she probably will win. But like I said, Isabella Rossellini, there's been a sort of I'm not entirely sure how the voters voted on this because the ballots were due a couple weeks ago, I think,
Yeah.
or last week maybe. Anyway,
Sure.
just because she's also she's acting royalty, she's been nominated before but has never won. Has not been
Right.
nominated very many times, but I think Blue
No.
Velvet she got. And she's Isabella Rossellini. So sometimes in these categories they will surprise you
Uh-huh.
by picking someone like that, like Alan Arkin, for example, winning for Little Miss Sunshine over The Favorite, which was I think Eddie Murphy for Dreamgirls. That was a kind of an
Yes.
interesting, and Juliette. Another sort of surprise one was Juliette Binoche winning for English Patient over Lauren Bacall, who had been The Favorite for A Mirror Has Two Faces, which was a really
Right.
bad movie, but she was very good in it. And, that was a real shocker, which,
Yeah.
again, if you look at the performances in the movies, I think Juliette Binoche sort of deserved that award. She was very good in the movie. And,
I don't I don't disagree, but you did hit upon something that I that to me is something that the Academy should like really stand behind is to because this happens every now and then. You reward somebody for
yeah,
something
yeah, I
in a
haven't got
very
into
mediocre movie. In a very mediocre
that yet.
movie.
I haven't got
Yeah.
into that yet. Yeah, there's what we call career awards. My my
Yeah.
the clearest one to me was Paul Newman. Okay.
Okay.
He had so many wonderful performances that he
Uh-huh.
got nominated for. The one that
Mm-hmm.
really, really pissed me off, though, I mean, this was in
Mm-hmm.
college. I legit remember how mad I was, is when he was nominated for The Verdict, which I'm sorry, was a tour de force performance. And
Oh, well,
he
even to this day.
lost to Ben Kingsley for Gandhi. Okay, granted, I get it. But Ben Kingsley was playing someone who's already been, it was a biopic, so he was playing someone who was already real, and Paul Newman had somebody, basically created out of thin air, sort of thing. So it really made me mad. It really made me
Mm.
mad. Of course, and then what does Paul Newman finally win for? His career award, The Color of Money.
Yeah. Which
And I'm
is,
like,
listen though,
not a bad
it's a
movie, but
great
come
movie. It's a
on.
great movie. Look, I get what you're saying. The
Come
Verdict, I think, is
on.
The Verdict is an excellent movie. I love it. The Color of Money to me is also an excellent movie, and I love it.
But I
But
mean, he was
I get what
nominated
you're
for
saying.
Hustler. He was nominated for
I know.
HUD. I mean, it's just like he's a Cool Hand Luke. I mean, the fact
Yeah,
he didn't win
yeah,
for that. I mean,
yeah.
it's just it is what it is. So career
Yeah.
awards are a real thing. Here's what happens.
Russell
The
Crowe. Russell Crowe's another one that you can point to, you
There's
know?
a lot. But here's the
Yeah.
thing, there's career awards that go to people for a film that may not have been their best performance, but okay, yeah, let's give it to them finally. There is the what I said, the wow factor for an actress, mostly actors too, but mostly actresses. If they change their appearance, they put
Uh-huh.
some prosthetics on, if they gain weight, if they sing, they dance and sing, and they're not known for that, that always puts them
Uh-huh.
at the top of the line. Another uh, another case for me is Hillary Swank. Okay, Hillary Swank.
Sure. Yep.
She and up against Annette Bening, and both times up against Annette Bening. All right. The first time was Boys Don't Cry. She won the Academy Award for that over
Right.
Annette Bening for um, American Beauty.
Mm-hmm.
I did not think that that was right either. I was upset about that.
Yep.
And then Million Dollar Baby, she wins again for
Uh-huh.
that. And I forgot. I think it was the Annette Bening film. I can't remember exactly what the name of it was, but it's just kind of funny that they go up against each other. But like I'm saying, Reese Witherspoon winning because she sang.
Right.
Nicole Kidman winning for The Hours, which was actually a beautiful performance too, because she had a
Uh-huh.
prosthetic nose. Charlize Theron for Monster. I mean, she
Mm-hmm.
completely changed her the way she looked, completely unrecognizable. Great performance, Academy Award. So
Yep.
Julia Roberts for Aaron Brockovich,
Uh-huh.
ballsy, body, something that she hadn't really done before. She was sort of America's
Yep.
sweetheart. She's playing this kind of, complicated character. Uh, Academy Award. So yeah, I mean it's a
Yeah.
pattern definitely for actresses. Definitely for
Yeah,
actresses.
but I think too, like, you could point to Gary Oldman from I was gonna call it the late hours.
Darkest Hour. Huh?
Darkest hours. Late hours is
Yeah,
a
no,
cigar. But
it
I
happens.
mean it happens with men
Yeah, it
as
does,
well,
but
but I see what you're
not
saying.
as much as the actresses. So anyway, so
So
moving on. I think Zoe Saldana will win, but Isabel Rosaline might be a big
mhm.
surprise. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, I don't it
I know you
pains
hate
me.
it. I know, but you got to put look. You can do your emotional response,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I'll do the
that's
more
all it is.
practical. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's all it is. But again, though, when I'm looking from a quality standpoint, you're rewarding somebody in what I've found to be an extraordinarily mediocre telenovela movie. Whereas for me, I look at a Monica Barbero, who was just fantastic. And this,
Yeah.
she had to actually do something like learn how to play guitar to be Joan Baez. Now the other one too is, it would be fun for me if like Ariana Grande won. Why? I'm not an Ariana Grande fan, and to be quite honest, when I went into Wicked, she was the one that I that I looked least like that was gonna win me over. And yet she won me over big time. And I've watched the movie a few times since, and every time I've watched it, I've noticed more and more of her performance, her timing or comedic timing and something. She was fantastic. I mean, I look at Zoe Saldana and she does have a great body of work, but I mean, Jesus, she's been better in the Avatar movies as far as I'm concerned. Oh yeah, I didn't find her performance in this movie to be
I
I
thought she
don't
was pretty gutsy to sing the
yeah.
and
Well, because she had eyebrows. I mean, I'd give her
no,
eyebrows a
just
nomination.
just
I just
it's
didn't think she was gutsy.
yeah, but
I did.
when you put yourself out there like that,
Well, how
it's
did she
tough.
put herself out there? I mean,
Singing in
if you're
the
gonna,
okay, I'm not going to argue with you. All right, I don't want to argue.
uh, I mean, but I could point to other actresses this year who further put themselves out there even more than she did, and I don't know. I agree with you. I think she's going to win. Now, as far as Isabella Rossellini, yes, she's had quite the career. I really enjoyed Conclave a lot, but she didn't do much in Conclave.
I know
Let's
that's what
be honest.
they're saying that
Yeah,
she, it's a career award kind of thing. We'll
she
see.
didn't. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think so. The math is not behind it. The math is not
You're
behind it,
right.
except for the fact that Conclave did win the SAG Ensemble Award, which doesn't necessarily
Yes,
translate to, and it won the BAFTA.
right.
Those two put Conclave sort of, up there, certainly after the SAG win. So as far as Best Picture as well, that could be a surprise situation, which I wouldn't
Hmm.
be unhappy about at all. But we'll get to
No.
that when we get to Best
All
Picture.
right.
All right.
So
So anyway,
I know.
let's keep
All
moving.
right.
Let's
So
keep
let's
moving
yeah,
forward.
yeah. So
Okay.
all right.
So
So
Best
let's do
Supporting
Best
Actor,
Actor. Yeah, I'll read
Supporting
the.
Actor.
We'll
Oh,
go.
let
All
me do
right.
it.
So
Let me do it.
oh, you want to do? Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
And then like I said, I'll start them off, and then you can chime in with your with
Fair
your
enough.
your emotional response. All right, so we've got Yura Borisov for Honora, Karen Culkin from Real Pain, Edward Norton from A Complete Unknown, Guy Pearce for The Brutalist, and Jeremy Strong for The Apprentice. Now, I've not seen The Brutalist or The Apprentice, so I can't really speak to those two nominees. But at this point, it's Kieran Culkin's to lose. He's won again. He's just like Zoe. He's won every single one up to that point. However, is he really supporting actor in that film? No, no. He's one of the main characters. I would say that he and Jesse are on the same level. Now this is not this is something that the studio decides to do. They
Right.
decide to which category they want to push people in, and I think probably they all decided that Karen would be a would have better chances to win best supporting actor if he went in that category than to be best actor. And Jesse could then do the best actor because he wrote and directed it as well. So it's really his vision, his film. Um,
Sure.
but the heart of the movie and the what the story revolves around is Kieran Culkin's character. So I'm real happy for him to win. I want him to win this. I don't really have anybody else in this category that I'd want to win besides Kieran. I think he's having a moment. He is, after his amazing turn in Succession, he's just on a roll. I would like to see him play something different next time because he kind of playing the same sort of character he did in Succession in A Real Pain. I'll bet very melancholy and some serious emotional baggage that he's carrying around with the character he
Uh-huh.
plays. But yeah, it's still kind of that wisecracking, irreverent, kind of little shit that he played in Succession. So I know he has it in him to play something different and move on. So I predict that he'll be on this Oscars list in the future as well. I think he's just going to continue to turn in really great work. It's my opinion. So I'm happy with this choice, Karen, all the way.
Yeah, I mean, think you said it properly. It is his to lose. I will say, yeah, Ed Norton in A Complete Unknown was very good.
Yeah.
Eye-opening, like, he was really good. And also, I have to say Guy Pearce for, really haven't seen a lot of Guy Pearce.
No.
And you just do forget, like, he can be a really good actor, and he
Yep.
puts in a really good performance here that is very believable and such. I, you know,
So you
I
seen
still
the Bird
believe with
List?
you. Yeah, yeah.
You did see it finally.
Yeah,
Good
yeah,
for
yeah.
you.
Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. Um, you know, we'll talk a little bit more when we get to Best Actor and
Yeah.
such.
Good. Good. I'd like to
I
hear your
agree
input.
with you. I agree with you. It's Kieran's to lose at this point, and I'd be okay. Yeah, everybody's saying he's gonna win. You're not gonna make a dime off of betting on him because of the odds, but he was that good in that movie.
Yeah.
And it's a tough role because you can either hate him all the way, right? Because he
Yeah.
could have turned like he's a little shit. He's a shit character.
Yeah.
There's still a charm to him that you
Yeah.
still like him in that movie. So yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. So
Yeah.
what do we go to next? Best
So
actress?
let's do Best Actress. Yeah. Okay. So we've
Okay,
got Cynthia Erivo for Wicked, Carla
right,
so- Carla Sofia Gascon for Amelia Perez, Mikey Madison
right,
for Honora, Demi Moore for The Substance, and Fernanda Torres for I'm Still Here. Now, again, this could be an interesting category. It's a little bit unpredicted at this point. Demi Moore has been the favorite, still continues to be the favorite. The only one she lost out on was BAFTA, which went to Mikey Madison for
right.
Honora, which is interesting. But again, Demi's got this great momentum behind her. She again, like so Zoe, but even more so, been turning in great performances her whole career. From Ghost to whatever. I mean, she's been a very solid actress, and she too puts herself out there for The
See, she put
Substance.
herself out there.
Yeah,
Let me ask,
makeup
might you consider this?
changed
Yeah.
her appearance. I'm
Might
telling
you
you,
might you consider this like a career award
yes.
to some
See,
extent?
so not only is she put herself out there, changed her appearance, really, bare, her soul was out there and open on and to everyone to see because
Sure,
this part. I'm
sure
sure
is.
she's actually
Sure.
had some of these feelings herself in her own life, right? Personally, being an actress who's faded, blah blah blah. But yes, there's also the career award factor. So we've got a double whammy here for best actress.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think honestly, uh, Mikey Madison might pull it out and surprise, but I highly doubt it. She that was a we'll talk about Honora too when we get to Best Picture. The film itself was fun. It was okay. I just don't think it's necessarily Oscar worthy in that regards, but whatever. Um, but and Mikey was great, and you know what? She's a good actress, and again, she's young and she's got
Yeah.
plenty of
Uh-huh.
time.
I don't
But
think this would be
if
her
I were to
first time.
if I were to vote on someone, I
Yes.
would vote on Cynthia Erivo.
Yes. You and I are in 100% agreement. Again, I do think it'll go to Demi Moore,
Yeah,
in large part to what you say about a
yeah,
career award. Look, she has been around for a wicked long time. Whether you I mean, Jesus, I mean, Ghost is a movie
goes.
that you and I have talked about. How did she not get nominated for that? Even a movie where she plays like G.I. Jane. I
Hmm.
loved her actually in G.I. Jane. But she's done so many movies, and she's done comedies, dramas, she's action movies. She has done it all. She's been a
Yep,
staple within the industry with
yep.
very little recognition. You could argue that back in the late 80s, early 90s, that perhaps the moniker of being part of the Brat Pack hurt her chances for being stuff,
Yeah,
which to me would,
maybe,
would be
maybe.
unfair. Um, there's no denying that she bears it all. And to me, she bears it a hell of a lot more. She puts more on the line in this movie than Zoe Saldana did. She really, I get if she wins, you just go, kudos. It's
Yeah,
about time.
yeah,
Um, Cynthia Erivo, I believe. Look, again, I went into Wicked not knowing much about Cynthia Erivo. I knew who Ariana Grande was, but I never followed with any like fandom or anything. Cynthia Erivo grabbed me emotionally, and
she sure
and
did.
and I
She sure did. And by
she
the way,
pulled me in the
here's a little
stratosphere.
here's a little side note. I'm
Yes.
going. If you're living in the Los Angeles area and love to go to the Hollywood Bowl during the summer,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
she's playing Jesus in a production of Jesus Christ Superstar at the Hollywood Bowl in August.
Oh, no way. Oh,
I'm
wow.
so down for that. Now, you know, I'm not a huge Andrew Weber. What's that? Andrew is it Andrew
Andrew
Weber?
Lloyd Webber? Andrew
Yeah,
Lloyd
Andrew Lloyd
Webber?
Webber. Yeah, who did Jesus Christ? That was I think his first one. Anyway, not a huge fan of musicals in general, but that one I loved that one because it's kind of a rock musical. And my sister
Uh-huh.
back in the day, she used to play it all the time. So when I was little, I just loved looking at the album and da, da, da. Anyway, I love the music, so I'm very excited about that. But I think so. Back to the Oscars. I think that what's my side note? I think that Wicked, they what I've been hearing is that they're waiting till part two comes out and then maybe honoring it then or awarding it then. I have a fear
This
about
is,
that
I have a fear about that too. It's just
because
such a
maybe part
stupid
two
thing.
it might not be as good. I don't know. I can't imagine Cynthia not being amazingly wonderful in that too. So maybe that'll be her time to
I
win. But
can't
I don't.
imagine both of them not being as good as
Yeah,
they were, but she really,
yeah.
oof,
She was.
she
Yeah,
was
she was.
fantastic. So again, we're in agreement. Let's move on over
That's a
to what
best actor.
best
Best
actor,
actor. So I've got
best actor.
Adrian Brody for The
Yep,
Brutalist, Timothy Chalamet for A Complete Unknown, Coleman Domingo for Sing Sing, which
yep.
literally no one has seen, Ray Fiennes for Conclave, and Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice, which was a big
Right.
surprise. People were really, I think Daniel Craig for Queer was what was predicted to be that fifth spot, but it went to Sebastian
Uh-huh.
Stan for that, which is fine. I actually haven't seen The Apprentice, but I did see A Different Man, and he's really good at that.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, the momentum is all behind Adrian Brody. He has won all of the precursors except for last weekend, the SAG Awards, which went to Timmy Chalamet. Which you know what? I don't know if you are in agreement with this because I agree with you on Monica Barbaro. She was fantastic as Joan Baez, and but I also thought Timothy Chalamet was really, really good. And again, he sang his all the songs himself and played the guitar and learned everything, and he didn't really do an impersonation of Bob Dylan. He really internalized that and gave his own take on that on Bob Dylan and Bob Dylan, and just the poetry and I don't know. I really liked The Complete Unknown. I really liked that movie. But
I-
all right, so now I didn't see The
I-
Brutalist. So tell me, what do you is Adrian Brody?
okay, okay, here's my thing. And I'm
Tell
not
me.
sure if it came out in time or it didn't come out in time, or maybe it came out. Um, I'm in agreement with you. Brody is fantastic. However, it did come out that they had to use AI to
Hmm.
fix his accent, to fix his speaking, and I believe it was Hungarian.
Right.
I don't like that. That's cheating. I don't like it. We don't allow drugs in sports. We don't allow steroids in sports to gain an edge, to hit the ball higher, to hit a player harder. I don't think that we should be using AI. It's up to the actor. It's up to the actor to get the accent down right or wrong, and then it's up to us to believe that the person's either speaking in language and speaking in a right tone.
Yeah.
They have to
Okay.
practice
So
it,
I mean,
much
besides
like
that, though,
Timothy Shat.
besides
No,
that,
that to me takes him out, takes him right out,
really,
takes him out. He cheats. That's cheating. Takes it right
So
out. Goodbye.
is it enough of a thing that his performance itself was damaged?
If you need it, it's out. It's out. Goodbye. It shouldn't count. If we don't no, if we don't allow this in other things, if Vegas can say card counting, albeit not illegal, but if they can throw you out of a casino for counting cards, that's cheating. They consider it cheating. If sports considers you taking steroids to gain an edge, that's cheating.
Well,
If
how
you get
much?
on a subway
Let me
if
just.
you get on a
I get you. I
subway
get you. It's
to
okay.
win a marathon, that happened. Rosie Ruiz, it's cheating. And if AI needed to come in so that they can make him speak Hungarian better, then no. His
How much?
performance was
How
really
much?
good up to that.
How much Hungarian does he speak in the film?
Enough. I mean, he has to. I mean, it's part and it's the
I think they had to
character's
do it
native
for
tongue.
Felicity Jones too, didn't they?
Correct,
Yeah.
correct, correct. So,
Hmm.
look, it's a very good performance. To me, the standout. Look, Adrian Brody
Really?
is a. To me, the standout was Guy Pearce. Because again,
In
you
that
look at
film.
Guy
Okay.
Pearce's career, and look, I love Memento, even though he looks back at Memento with not such fond memories. L.A. Confidential was
Yeah,
great.
not very fond memories, apparently.
Yeah, yeah. But
No, but Guy Pearce has been putting in
here to
performances.
me, Guy Pearce is a standout more so. Look, Adrian Brody, I think, is an excellent actor, and he too is a person that has done it all. He's done action movies, he's been in some comedies, he's done heavy dramas. Like, he could be back to the stage. When you say Timothy Chalamet, look, you're right. I mean, they released the Complete Unknown soundtrack with Timothy Chalamet's, doing Dylan. He learned how to play the guitar. They weren't AIing his performance. He took the time to do it right, and everything. Now, the other performance that I really loved that I would not be upset about um, would be Ray Fiennes in
Yes, of course.
Conclave.
I know.
He was
Absolutely.
he was wonderful.
Yeah, he was
Like,
fantastic.
yeah,
Fantastic.
and if he
And
doesn't
I'm
get
really, really happy that Conclave won the SAG. I think it's
you
absolutely
and me both.
deserved because, unfortunately, it's all white men except for Isabel Rossellini, which is kind of but it was the best acting ensemble,
So,
overall,
yeah,
everybody,
uh-huh,
everybody.
a
And we
hundred
won't
percent.
probably talk about it because we don't have much time, but it's absolutely going to win Best Adapted Screenplay Conclave. That's hands down, hands down.
You think so? Okay, I hope
Oh yeah,
so.
one
But
hundred percent.
so I, but it with Timothy Chalamet again. I'm not the hugest Timothy Chalamet fan. I call him Timothy Chalamet, but you got to give him his props. You have to respect somebody when they actually do perform. And the
Yeah,
mere fact that he did his own singing, playing the guitar, the
yeah.
harmonica, folks, this is not an easy thing to learn. And yes,
No,
you could say, well, he only had to learn the songs that he did. He still had to learn how to do
yeah,
it. And that kind of guitar playing is not
and
necessarily
dedication.
easy.
But here's
And
the thing:
dedication.
so
Yes,
Timothy is proven himself to be a fine actor, and he absolutely has plenty of time to be on these lists again.
100%.
So that's
100%.
one of the reasons why they might think about it. But is it? I mean, I think Adrian Brody's a great actor too, but he's
He
turned in
is.
some. I mean, he's been in some pretty bad movies, and
He
you
has.
know,
But
and to say two-time Oscar-winning Adrian Brody, that's the thing that I have a problem with. Also, he's sort of playing the same kind of character, same sort of situation anyway, that he did in The Pianist. So I don't know. I mean, I think he's going to win. That's okay. And I haven't seen it yet. And when I see it, I'll probably go, okay, that's good. I'm glad he won. He
he
did, except for
he
the AI
he
thing. But
he
um,
is
for,
very
for me
good.
personally, I would vote for Timothy.
If I were, privy to vote, if it were my honor to vote, I would have I may have gone with Ray Fiennes. But the bottom line is I think it is between Timothy and Adrian.
After the SAGs, absolutely. That just threw everybody for a tailspin. We're like, oh,
Whoop, yep,
so
yep,
now
yep.
what's going to happen? And
All
Rafe,
right.
you know what? God love him, he'll be there again too. He's too good of an
True.
actor. He's too good of an actor not to get on there
True.
again. So
True.
one of my favorite Rafe Fine movies, though, just all and Rachel Weisz actually did win the Academy Award, was The Constant Gardener.
Uh-huh.
Have
Yep.
you seen that?
Yep.
Oh,
I remember when it
that
came
movie
out. Yep.
slayed me. Slayed me. Okay, moving on. We're going to talk about
All right.
Best Director.
Nice. Okay.
Interesting category. We've got
Yes.
Jacques Audiard for Amelia Perez, French for a Spanish speaker. That movie's just whatever. Sh
Right.
Sean Baker for Honora, Corbet. Actually, that's how you say his last name, by the way. That was Corbett.
Uh-huh.
It's not. It's Corbet. For The Brutalist, Coraline Fargett for The Substance, and James Mangold for A Complete Unknown. Um, Sean Baker is the favored to win because he won the DGA and he won the BAFTA, I believe, and he did not win the Globes though. That was Brady Corbet who won the Globes. It's really between those two, and there's a lot of momentum behind Honora right now. So, and I do believe that Sean Baker will also win screenplay for original screenplay for Honora. I do believe that that's gonna go to him as well. I don't know. This is a tough one for me. I feel like Sean will probably win. He is more personable. And here's another aspect to the Oscars that I didn't bring up. How personal have you been on the award circuit? Have you been
Right.
affable? Have you been great in interviews? Have you been, fun? Like Timothy Chalamet's been great, right? He's quirky, he's
Right.
off the cuff, he does SNL, da, da, da. Adrian Brody, same kind of thing. Demi's been great, blah, blah, blah. Brady Corbet has not. He has rubbed people the wrong way in his interviews and stuff. So, but his story is so compelling to make this 3.5 hour movie that's gorgeous to watch. I'm assuming, right?
Yes, but again, all right, finish up and
Okay.
I'm just gonna
Well, anyway,
post
three
that
and a
note
half
in.
hours, and he made it for $10 million, and then he came
Yep.
out and said he didn't make a cent off the film at all. These are
Probably
good
right.
stories. These are good
Yep.
stories, but he has not presented a very sympathetic or you know um, nice guy in the interviews, as
Okay.
opposed to Sean Baker, who's been very fun and cute and whatever. And then people just seem to really love Honora. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna bet on Sean Baker, but I would not be surprised if Brady won as well. So
I
I
think it
don't
was
know.
Sean Baker who just recently had a speech. What was it? Was it at the
DGA.
Spirit Awards?
Oh, Spirit Awards. Yes, yes.
I mean his speech about independent film and everything
Yeah,
was it was like it was a speech for the ages.
yeah,
Um Again, you know my thoughts on Honora. I don't disagree with what you said. When you talk about the Brutalist and Brady Corbet, it just makes me wonder, yes, the director has a lot to do with it, but the cinematographer also has a lot to do with it.
yeah,
Uh, the way that I'm trying to think what it was like in Cinevision, Cinescope 70. Yeah. Again, my wish list, and I would have written him in would be John M. Chu.
yes. Of
I mean,
course. Who
that's
won? Who won
that
the Critics' Choice? So
right. So he had a lot going on. He had to
yeah,
wrangle cats. They put a lot together.
yeah. I know.
To me, that's a snub. But when we're dealt with what we have to go with, I think that Sean Baker will probably come off as best director.
Yeah. Well, he
So
did win the
I don't
DGA,
disagree.
so
Yep,
that's, that's a
yeah,
big plus.
I
So,
don't disagree. Don't
yeah.
disagree.
So
So,
anyway, we'll see how that shakes out, but
all
we're
right.
we're going.
And
And
now,
then finally, pictures. You ready? We've got Honora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune, Part Two, Amelia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, and Wicked. Now, I'm Still Here, which is a film I actually do want to watch as well, at some point in time. That's going to win probably best foreign language film or best international film, what they call it now. I'm pretty darn sure that that's going to happen. So, and that's good. Apparently, that's a really very politically charged film, and it's affecting Brasilia. Brazilians pretty impacting Brazilians pretty well because of its subject matter and the former president of Brazil or whatever and things that
Right.
he did and stuff. So anyway, I think that that's where that's going to get some recognition. So again, I think it boils down to, well, actually, I should say now three in contention, really. We've got
Okay.
Anora,
Yep.
which has won the BAFTA, and of course, all the momentum behind the screenplay director was Sean Baker, and BAFTA, Mikey Madison winning actress. Um, but the Globes went to Brutalist,
Uh-huh.
and oh, the other thing that's a huge thing for Honora is the PGA. I forgot about it.
Uh-huh.
Producers Guild Award went to Honora. That almost, I mean, it's like 2% or 5% difference. Like if the PGA picks it and the Oscars pick something different, it's like a 90, like percentage off or whatever. It's that it doesn't generally happen. Usually, if the Producers Guild picks the best picture, that's what usually wins the Oscar.
Uh-huh.
So that means Honora is probably the favorite at this point. But Conclave winning for best ensemble was a great coup, and I think that if there is a surprise, it would probably be Conclave over the Brutalist. I think at this point.
Mm. See, for me, the big surprise would be if Wicked won,
Well,
which
yeah, that's
again, to me,
oh, I
that
know, I
that
know.
that's what I would
That's
have
your
voted
emotional
for.
response.
That it is my emotional response. And again,
You're right. I
but
would have
but but
voted
but
for it too.
but but there's a lot more than just emotion going into it. I look at to what the movie accomplished around the world, but let's take a look at what it just did here in the good old US of A. Um, you were able to bring something to people who can't afford to go to Broadway. They can't afford that $300 ticket to see a play. It,
Yeah.
it it really created a movie that was entertaining for the masses, and you can look at Wicked in many different ways. You can look at it as pure popcorn entertainment, walk out, say, "Yeah, I had a good time," or you can look at it as a mirror to a certain society. If you're a fan of The Wizard of Oz, you can look at it that way and go, "Wow, I didn't know this story." If you knew nothing of Wicked, and I think it was show-stopping, and emotional and just beautiful to watch. And it clicks the boxes for what um, commercial movie making like can be.
Yes.
Um, Conclave, look when I got out of Conclave. To me, there was no doubt that it should be nominated. It deserved to be
Yes.
nominated.
Oh, yes.
Conclave does something again for everybody. I felt as if I were inside the Vatican. I
Yeah.
felt
Yep.
like a fly on the wall watching this all play out. And I
Yep.
was like, oh my God. And it's like, I'm glad to know that people inside these papal people are as petty as real life human beings on an everyday basis.
Yep.
And it captured something that I thought was magnificent.
And
A
also
complete,
there's a twist. There's a twist to it that like but it is a poignant and
yes.
very, very pivotal twist
Uh-huh.
that made the movie that kind of elevated the movie even that much more to me.
Right.
Because it
Yeah.
wasn't something that was a huge deal, like made a huge deal of or
No.
whatever. It's just something
No.
that came at the end. You're like,
You're
I
like,
don't know.
oh yeah.
It was a magnet. I was a magnificent movie.
Yeah,
I
no,
loved it.
I'm
I
a
would say
huge fan
Conclave
of
and Wicked
Conclave.
are my closest for last year, my
Yeah, I
favorite.
wouldn't. Yeah, yeah, that and for me,
And a
Wild
complete
Robot.
unknown. So,
Yeah.
third is complete unknown.
So, Honora, if Honora wins, again, I'm like, you're missing out because what is going to be, what is going to stand the test of time
Mm-hmm.
more? And these pictures, I always look at this stuff as this is the way I look at it. The Academy does not. What is going to stand the test of time?
Yeah.
What is going to people look back 20 years from now? And then what are they still going to be entertained by? And I'm
Right.
not sure Honora is going to be that movie,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And so
I know, it's true.
I get what you're saying.
But
And
it's
you know
like the
what?
same
I
like
would play your
Moonlight or
numbers.
Moonlight and all this stuff. I
Yeah.
mean, there have been I can't count how many Best Picture winners that were just like
Hmm.
complete head scratchers. And everyone talks about some of the major ones like Shakespeare in Love, cute movie, but over Saving Private Ryan, I don't think so.
100, you know
Or
what? It
Crash.
100%.
Of course, everyone talks about
Hey,
Crash. I don't know
I
what
got,
happened there. I think Harvey Weinstein absolutely bribed every single person on the Academy list
sorry.
to make that.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Crash was a Lionsgate movie.
Oh,
Um,
I thought it was Harvey Weinstein. No, Shakespeare in Love was Harvey Weinstein.
yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Crash,
Okay.
I was at Lionsgate at the time.
Oh yeah.
I have no problem that Crash won. None whatsoever. I don't care. You can argue
Over
with me all the
Brokeback
time.
Mountain? I don't know.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
it's been definitely called a head scratcher. Sorry about that,
Yeah,
buddy.
it's okay. I was at the studio at the time. It felt really good the day after.
I
Um,
bet. I bet.
and the bonus check was nice too. So I
Yeah.
will always say Crash, you know. But you're right. That's what makes talking about the Academy Awards fun. Hey, everybody, how amazing. Yeah, you were great. It was Academy Award 101. Um, and
Look,
always
it's
I
been
hope
if you studied as long as I have, and I'm like down here as opposed to people who really know everything and can guess it right all the time. And whatever. I just know certain things and just have talking about them every single year now. But,
you
you
know
know,
what you know, and you know it really well.
yeah.
You know it better than some people who write about this stuff for a living. I always it's great to this is our second year talking Academy Awards,
Yep.
and I just appreciate talking about them with you because I just grew up at a time where I didn't look at all this different stuff, and you grew up going into this journalism thing, learning about all this stuff and covering
Yep.
it in a different way. And that's what I respect and appreciate about you. But there are many things that I respect and appreciate about you outside of that. So this is a great, great show.
Yeah,
Are
it's
you
been
doing
fun.
anything fun for Oscar night?
Well,
Not,
uh, that says an hour earlier than I thought it was is proving to be problematic because I have this thing I have to go to on Sunday. So anyway, we'll have to figure it out. But yes, I will eventually watch the entire show, and
good.
we'll be able to do that. But everyone, let us know some of your
Yes.
picks and some things that you think was snubbed or some things that have been nominated you love. So let
Yeah.
us know your opinions as well. Love to hear them. So we'll
Well,
see what
another,
happens. We'll see
we'll
what
see what
happens.
happens. It'll always be, and we'll see how